Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillahi amma ba'd. Welcome to episode 3 of Ramadan preparation. Walillah alham. Today's date is the 2nd of Rajab, 1446 Hijri, corresponding with January 2nd, 2025 of the Gregorian calendar. And walillah alham, Ramadan, Shahrul Mubarak, is only 50 some odd days away. So it is important and imperative that we prepare for this auspicious occasion, inshallah. But before we begin, I want to mention that the understanding of al-Islam is in the book of Allah, meaning the recital, the Quran, in the authentic narrations of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is not in the actions and attitudes of some people. If we want to know what Islam entails, it is in the book of Allah, Tabarak wa Ta'ala, and in the authentic narrations of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We are human beings. We say a lot of things and we do a lot of things that are not consistent with the revelation. Let me repeat that. We are human beings and we say a lot of things and we do a lot of things that are not consistent with the revelation. What Islam consists of is in the book of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala and the authentic narrations of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And as Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, He says, after Surah Al-Fatiha, He opens Surah Al-Baqarah by saying, Alif Lam Mim, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. This is the book. In it, you won't find anything that will make you uncomfortable. Let me repeat that. He says, this is the book, and you won't find anything in it that will make you have trepidation and doubt that it's from Allah Ta'ala. You're not going to find it there. This is for the people who are looking for what? Guidance. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. It is guidance for the people of taqwa. Other people, they're going to say and do a lot of things. But for the people who are conscious of Allah Ta'ala and know that Allah Ta'ala is Rabbil Alameen, you're not going to find any of that in there. You're not going to find contradictions. Allah Ta'ala saying one thing here and saying something different somewhere else. It's not like that. And as I mentioned to one of my family members earlier in the week, I said to her that the book of Allah Ta'ala is in the Arabic language. And it was revealed to Muhammad, the son of Abdullah, in Arabia. So when it was revealed, the disbelievers of that time, who understood the Arabic language, by the way, they were claiming, they made these false claims that he was a magician and he was a soothsayer and like this. So Allah Ta'ala, he challenged them. Because as we know, Allah Ta'ala, the creator of the heavens and the earth, he's perfect. He doesn't have any flaws. He don't sleep. He don't go to the bathroom. He don't eat. He don't rest. He ain't got no wife. He ain't got no daughters. He ain't got no sons. He ain't got none of that. It's beneath him. He's a subh. He's the perfect one. Just as the Prophet ﷺ told those individuals who came and asked him about the creation from Yemen, he told them, he said there was Allah and then there was nothing else, and then he started creating things. He's El Hayyu. He's the ever living, the one who never dies. He don't have any shortcomings. He ain't got no weaknesses. Therefore, his speech, which the Quran is, it is perfect, which means it can't be duplicated by human beings. So because these individuals, and still you have individuals making these claims, but they can't answer the challenge, they made these claims that it wasn't from Allah Ta'ala. So Allah Ta'ala, he told them first to create 10 chapters like it. They couldn't do it. Okay, they couldn't create 10 chapters. He reduced it. He said, create one chapter like it. They couldn't do it. Then he reduced it, and this challenge still stands. He said, if you're saying this is not from me, then create one verse like it. One verse. No one, I repeat, no one in 1446 years have been able to do that. Why? Because it is the speech of the creator of the heavens and the earth, and he is perfect. Therefore, his speech is perfect. And human beings and the creation, we're not perfect. We can't create anything that's perfect. We can't do that. It is not within our capacity. We're incapable of that. Why? Because we're imperfect. He's not imperfect. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, if anyone, Muslim or not, wants to know what Islam entails, it is in the book of Allah and in the authentic narrations of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and it is not in the people. It's not in the people. We are imperfect. We do a lot of things and we say a lot of things that are not consistent with the revelation of Allah Ta'ala. It's a fact. Do not judge Islam based on what people do. Judge Islam based on the Quran and the authentic narrations of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Nah. We return to the tremendous book by Sheikh Abdullah Ibn Baz rahimahullah ta'ala. 30 questions and answers on fasting in Ramadan. We are on matter number 4. Ordering the children to fast. Question: is a boy who has reached the stage where he has faculties to understand, ordered to fast, is it counted as a fast if he reached puberty during a particular fasting day? The Sheikh, rahimahullah, he says, as has been mentioned previously in question number 1, when boys or girls have reached the age of 7 and above, they should be ordered to fast so they can get acquainted and used to fasting. It is upon their parents and guardians to command them to fast, just as they order them to make the obligatory salah. When they reach the age of puberty, it is now obligatory for them to fast. If they reach puberty during the fasting day, they will be rewarded for that day. If a child reaches 15 years old during a fasting day at the afternoon prayer, the fast is accepted. The first part of the day is considered extra, and the last part is counted as obligatory. What the Sheikh is bringing here is that if they reach the age where they're supposed to fast during the day of the fast, then they fast for the rest of that day. And what preceded is just extra. What they did before they reached that period is just extra. But anything after that is obligatory because they have reached the age where it's obligatory for them to fast. Now, he says, puberty is ascertained by the growth of pubic hair or if ejaculation occurs through desires. The ruling applies for both boys and girls. Except for the female, there is a fourth sign of puberty, which is her menses. Different for her. Pubic hair, ejaculation, and menses. If she get that, obligatory for the fast. No doubt about that. Now, we could go on and talk about this matter, about some other matters regarding this, because unfortunately, and I was just thinking about this matter pertaining to myself just the other day. I was thinking about it in regard to the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where he said that every child is born on the fitrah, meaning knowing that there is only one God and that he is deserving of worship. Every child's born like that. Every child's born knowing that they only have one Lord. Every child's born like that. They're not born Muslim. People used to translate that hadith as that. That's impossible. That's impossible. Because Islam means submission, and the Muslim is the ismul fa'il of that. And in order to do that, there must be knowledge. You must have knowledge on how to submit to Allah. A child ain't born like that. Child is born not knowing anything. They don't have no aql. But they are born with a natural inclination to worship one Lord. And then the Prophet ﷺ said, but it is their parents or their environment. Let me repeat that. It's their parents or their environment that changes them into a Christian, a Jew, or a fire worshiper. Nah. I thought about this hadith in regard to myself just the other day. I thought about this hadith in regard to myself just the other day. Because this is what my parents raised me on. Now, understand something. I had two factors pulling here. One was my mother was a Christian. I don't know what my daddy was. I don't know what he was on. Yeah, I don't know what he was on, man. You know what I'm saying? As Imam Rakib said, he said his daddy was a heathen. I'll put my father in that category. I'll put him in that category because I don't know what he was on, bro. He had no religious inclination whatsoever. None. But my mother, she was a Christian. Therefore, that's what was espoused in the house. That what was discussed in the house. On Sunday morning, the gospel music was playing. That's what I was exposed to. But that's not how I was born. Every child is born on the fitrah, but it's their parents or their environment that changes that. Nah. So when a child is born into a Muslim family and they see their mother and their father making salah, it is easy for the child. It is natural for the child to get next to their mother or get next to their father and mimic what their mother and father are doing because that's what they're created to do anyway. They were created to bow and prostrate to Allah Ta'ala. They're created like that. So when they see their mother and father doing it, it's only natural they're going to do it because that's the way they were created. To bow, to make ruku and sujood to the creator of the heavens and the earth. Nah. Brother, listen. Well, I ain't going to say that because I do mean to do it. I mean to come on here and say exactly what I'm saying. Because It is about the hearts of the people. It's about the hearts. And Shaitan, Iblis, the devil, he promised. He made a promise to Allah Ta'ala that he is going to sit and wait on Allah's straight path. And that he will come to the children of Adam, and all of us are children of Adam, from in front of them and behind them, on their right and on their left. And he said, and you won't find most of them to be grateful. Most of them gonna be ungrateful. It is about the hearts of the people. So I come on here, I'm not no scholar, I'm not no talibul ilm. Allah Ta'ala has blessed me. Hadha rahmatin min Rabbi. And this is from the mercy of my Lord with a little bit of knowledge of the Quran and Sunnah. But I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart, it is the absolute truth, and there's no truth other than it. I'm telling you. It is the absolute truth. It is the haq from al-haq, and there's no haq other than it. I'm telling you. If you look into it, this is what I'm asking. If you look into it objectively, you'll find that. I'm telling you. If you look into it objectively, not with the prejudices that you've seen some other Muslims do, or that you heard about Muslims doing, or that you saw some Muslims doing, or that you heard on CNN and Fox News, I ain't talking about that. If you look into it sincerely, looking to see if it is the truth, you're going to find it there. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you. And Allah is the one who guides. But if you approach the book of Allah and the sunnah of his Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, looking to see if it is the truth, he going to guide you to that. No doubt about that. Okay, well, how can you say that, Ibn? He did it with me. He did it with me. That's the only reason I started looking into Islam. I started looking into Islam because I wanted to see if it was the truth. I just wanted to see. I heard stuff. I didn't let what I heard affect me. I ain't let that affect me. I said, I'm going to look for myself. I'm going to see for myself. And walillah alhamd, I took my shahada in 1991. Walillah alhamd. Why? Because he guided me to the fact that it's the truth. And he'll do the same thing for you. No doubt about that. There's no doubt. Why? Because he wants good for his creatures. Let me repeat that before I get out of here. He wants good for his creatures. He wants good for his creatures. But we have to want it for ourselves. We have to want it for ourselves because he don't need nobody. He doesn't need anybody to worship him. He's still Allah, whether everybody disbelieve in him or not. It doesn't matter. He's still the one who make the sun rise in the east and set in the west, and nobody interferes with that. And they never will. So it doesn't matter if we worship him or not. Don't matter. But that's what he wants because that's the best thing for us. That's what we were created to do. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I have not created the jinn or mankind except to worship me. That's why we're here. Period. That's our purpose in life. And it's the only thing that's going to make us safe in this life and in the next. Nothing other than that is going to do it. Nothing. Nam. In episode 4, we will come back and continue with the tremendous book by Sheikh Abdullah Ibn Baz, rahimallahu ta'ala. And we will address the age-old question, how is the beginning and end of the month of Ramadan ascertained? Until then, هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد